I would come back this week and finish out a great design that, again, we can get our kids involved with, because we all know we're right here at the end of the school year, and there's always that question, Mom, I'm bored, what can I do? So I thought that it'd be great if we got kids involved in projects that don't require any type of glue, but it does require some prep on your behalf to make sure that you have all the materials handy, but they can get in the process of picking out the things that they like and putting them together however they would like. So I'm going to show you another super cute design that we can work with our kids for during the summer. Before we get started though, I want to remind you a couple things. If you want to save this tutorial and you're on Facebook, just go ahead and click the share button below. That will share this to your Facebook page, and you'll have this ready when those summer boredom blues kick in. Also, if you are on YouTube and you want to save this, just click the save button. It'll save it to whatever file you have set up on your YouTube account. Second thing is, I'd love it if you would just like and follow my page, or if you're on YouTube, if you just subscribe to your channel. Those are things that can help pay off a small business like myself in huge ways that don't cost any investment on your behalf. So, super simple. YouTube, just click the subscribe button. Also, Facebook followers, if you didn't know I have a YouTube channel, hop on over there, and I'd love to have you subscribe over there as well. Once you hit subscribe on YouTube, you will be notified whenever there's a new video that uploads. And a lot of times I just add random videos, just like I do random pop-up videos on Facebook. So Facebook subscribers, to get notified when I go live, just make sure you have the like and follow button selected. For some reason, and I haven't figured this out yet, there's always these fluctuations in things that go on at Facebook. I don't know if they're still dabbling with making some huge changes to the platform or their server. So if you guys can do me a favor, click the like button, click the little heart button on this video, and let's see if we can change what it is that Facebook is doing to the algorithm that's going on. Good afternoon, Jan from sunny Northern Kentucky. I am joining you from sunny, believe it or not, Washington, where, contrary to what people think, it does not rain here all the time. So maybe people just say that to people so that they don't move up here and take part in what is so beautiful. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to pivot you down. Hi, Debbie. Happy Thursday to you too. I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down. We're going to go ahead and get started with another amazing project. So give me 1 second. Make sure I get everything all squared up. Good afternoon, Pam, joining us from Missouri. Welcome. So we are going to be, again, using the 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. Hi, Tommy. Welcome. You can do this on an 8-inch, a 10-inch, a 12-inch, an 18-inch, whatever you'd like to do. When we did the birthday felt wreath, I had a lot of people say, can we do this smaller? Can I split these up and give them to my kids so that they're smaller and more manageable for them? Absolutely. You can make these in any size that you like. I'm doing this one on a 14-inch though. Oh, not this one. That would help if I actually had the correct frame in mind. I was gonna do one, and you can still do one on the 14-inch frame. I'm actually using the heart frame from the Dollar Tree. And every year, whenever Dollar Tree brings their heart frames back out around Valentine's Day, I will always make sure I pick up quite a few, because there are a multitude of different things that you can make with these heart frames. So, but you can still do it on the 14-inch frame. You could do it on whatever frame you want. What you will need is a frame. You will need some material. Hi, Denise. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. So, heart frame, wreath frame, and then you're going to need fabric. As many types of fabric as you would like. And this could be, fabric you have laying around, fabric that's part of your kids' clothes that you've had stored and you're just not ready to part with them yet, you can do what's called a legacy wreath and incorporate some of that fabric into a beautiful heart-shaped design that kind of has a little bit of that rustic, country, primitive flair. So you are going to need, I have chosen 6 different color fabrics because we're going with our patriotic theme, because a lot of people have this decor up in their home year round. So we're going to kind of do a heart-shaped patriotic rag wreath. Again, I have 6 different color fabrics. I have this American flag fabric, which I have cut down to 1.5 inches by 7 inches long. People are going to ask me, well, how much fabric should I have handy? I'm not exactly sure. I have counted what I have made so far. And of course, that's always going to depend on the type of fabric you have, how tight your knots are going to be, what your overall effect will be. But I think if you have maybe a yard of each fabric, and I know that seems pretty big, but you might have enough to do 2 or 3 wreaths. I just had extra fabric laying around in my craft fabric tubs, so I just grabbed 6 different ones, and I have plenty. So again, 1.5 inches by 7 inches long. I like to cut these with a rotary cutter, and I like the ends to be a little, I don't know if you can see this, kind of a little bit on the frayed side. I like it to look like it's been around for a while. Now, the nice thing about the rag wreaths is perfect for storm doors. They're lightweight for hospice, assisted living doors. They're easy to fluff and store, because what you'll see is at the tail end how easy it is to fluff these up and get ready for next year. You can even, if it happens to get dirty, you can kind of take a little bit of like, like they have those Tide pins. You could kind of take a Tide pin to it, kind of work out the little stain, and then blow dry it, and you're good. Or you can just simply remove that one piece where there's a fabric and add some additional fabric in there. So the fabric that I have selected is this American flag. I have the red stars on the white. I have the red with white hearts. I have chosen this royal blue. It's kind of like a little flower kind of print on it. I have a little bit of an Americana in here, which is just stars and a country stripe. And then I believe, then I have the littler white stars on white, and those are my fabric combinations. Now, sometimes we're not sure. Do I have enough fabric to get all the way through? Because on the heart-shaped frame, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections and 3 rails in each section. So what I prefer to do is I will start by tying on, and here's the tie. It's called a Larkspur knot. So I prefer, because not all of our wrong side of our fabric looks really pretty. Sometimes it looks like, especially this one, I would not want to see that on the top. So the reason why we cut it 1.5 inches is so we can fold it. Okay. And then you're just going to wrap it around your finger like so. You're going to put that right underneath your rail. You're going to grab those 2 tails and you're just going to pull it. And that is how you are going to tie on to the entire thing all the way around. Let me go ahead and zoom in on that so that you can see. Once more, we're going to take this one, and I'm trying to see where I have that paired up, what comes next. We have the stars, the blue stars on white. Again, folding it over, sliding this under, grabbing, I'm going from the inside right here, pulling up, and then going ahead and pulling those out. And that is ideal. Plus, it makes it so much easier. If you make a mistake and you need to take one of those off, it's a lot easier because you just flip it over, you grab it from the back, and you just pull your fabric off. Let me go ahead and actually get comments up here. That was the one thing I did not do. This wreath is available for sale. It's going to come with 2 totally different bows, so that you could go with one that's a little bit more patriotic and then one that's a little bit more year-round. Let me make sure I'm there. We're here, sliding over. Let me go ahead and put the website in at the bottom. So if you're interested in purchasing this, this will be on my website. It is available on my website right now. It just has a placeholder listed that will show that we're making this on a Facebook Live. And let me go ahead and pin that. Also, if you're interested in joining the private group, we have a design group and we have a business academy. Both of those are available to you on the website as well if you want to join and take part in that. So everything is done. So hello, all of you that are joining. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Pam. Let's make sure I'm getting all of the people. Debbie, another Pam, Denise, welcome. So how do you do the bottom row? Or Debbie says, do you do the bottom row? Yes. You will go every single section around. You will go up and do the rail here, and then you will go around and do the outside. I just started here because it's easier. Elizabeth said, have you made one with old jeans? I have not, but I'm very interested in doing that because it creates a great look. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be putting it all the way around. There's also a couple different options. You can pick how you choose to display that. There's a couple options here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one off. We're going to set this frame aside, and I'm going to show you. I've almost finished. So this is the final design, and it is not that day glow bright. I don't know what is going on with my white balance. It might be my overhead lights. Might just change here in a second. So I have done all the inside right here. It also keeps the integrity of the heart. So you can definitely see that this is a heart-shaped frame. I have also done the second layer, but this is the look that you can get. Some people like it to where their fabric tails lay over the outside. I'll show you once we finish it. Another option you have for a look. But as you're working through your rails, I started with the inside one because it's the smallest. It's the easiest to do. It'll take about 50 strips of fabric to go all the way through the inside. So when you're ready to do the next row, just take your fabric strips and roll them to the inside like this so that it gives you greater access to the outside, and then you won't have to contend with all the other pieces of fabric. So I've already gone through and done the outside or the middle row. This required 60 strips to get through here. Again, we're just going to take and lift all these up. And they pivot really nicely. Just like this. Just slide your finger under and then pivot them to the middle. And you'll kind of see where I left off. And then we'll discuss how to make sure you get one of each piece of your fabric so that you don't run out, like when you're doing the bottom and then you don't have enough fabric, or maybe you just bought enough that that there is no more extra. So what I always suggest doing is when you have your 6 all picked out, this is how they're going to go. They're going to be like this, and then we're doing this one, and then this one, and then this, and then following up with the American flag is put each of those together on every single section. So here, 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 all the way around. Put them in the order that you have them. For example, I would put, one here, plop that in, put my second piece in, going in like this, pull that out. Again, folding, I just wrap it around. So there's no knots. It's just what my kids call loop and swoop. You just make a loop and then you pull it through. So I would take all of these, going all the way around. It actually goes really quick once you have all your fabric strips laid out, just like this. And then we finish off with the American flag, just like this one. And then the pattern would repeat itself again and again. But I like to break these up so that I don't have the same pattern starting all the way around in every single section. But what I do is I will put 6 colors in every single section so that I'm guaranteed that every single section has a representation of one of those 6 fabrics. Now, if you run out, say the American flag, you just might want to come in and add in another piece of red. And so you would go through and just break up that pattern with anything extra. Sometimes you might look at this and say, well, I really want to introduce a darker navy. That's great. Put all 6 in, then come back in if you have an extra piece of fabric, and you can always add that. It's so much easier to do that rather than follow your pattern all the way around and then discover you don't have enough to go literally all the way around with like your American flag pattern. You just had just enough left over, and so there's not enough to go in all the sections. So once you have them done, as you can see, this is exactly what I was talking about. I have them laid out in every single section so that as I am completing each patterned row, I am just going to come in right here on the next. We're just doing the outside. And I'm just going to continue the pattern. I could have pushed these ones through, but I kind of like having them there at the back end. And then I'm just going to keep repeating my pattern all the way through. And obviously, as you go farther and farther to the outside, see, I missed. I should have put the red in. No big deal. Slide that over to the side. Go ahead and continue with your red. And I like to make sure that I got good lengths on my tails, that I've got even pieces there. Ooh, and I forgot, I was supposed to add the Americana one. But it's not a big deal. You just move everything over. There we go. And then we're going to finish off with the American flag. Come in here, and then we'll just take these and slide these over. And then I'll keep, this one actually doesn't have even tails. I'm just going to even up the tail. Sometimes I'm not really paying attention, and I just throw them on there. And when I go to pull them, sometimes I get one shorter than the other. There we go. Moving that back around, our next pattern would be the blue. I can't slide these ones over because I have that weld right here. So that just tells me keep finishing the pattern. So we have our blue. We're going to wrap, put that in, and I try to pack them in to where there's very little gap, if any, left between the sections. Like I wouldn't just end it here because I can still push that back just a bit and get in another piece of fabric. And I've done that on all the preceding sections on the inner and the middle rail. See, like this one is a little thicker fabric, so it takes up a little more gap than say something that's a lot softer and smoother. I'm pretty much stuck right there, so I'm going to continue the pattern until I can take this one and move it forward. So we're going the red with the hearts, then the red with the star, And then we're going to do the American flag, and then we can slide the rest over. And you can do this while you're watching a movie. It's just like once you lay out all of your fabric, you just keep picking up your next consecutive piece. I usually have them all laying in little piles of 6. And I just kind of look ahead or look behind to make sure I still understand the pattern. Here, we're going to slide all these over. Okay. And this is where I started a section, so it might kind of end up a little bit funky, but I'm okay with that because right now we should come in with the blue. Since I'm finishing up this section and there's only like 1 or 2 left, I'm just going to vary this pattern so that we don't have the blue sitting next to a blue. Let's take the country fabric because that one's a little whiter. And we're going to vary that look. And you can see that once I add this one in, we are done. That would complete the pattern all the way around so that our outside is finished. Now all you're going to do is pull down the preceding ones that we moved out of the way. Usually just slide your finger under and flip them backwards so that you're not grabbing that inner one just yet. And we want to make sure that all of the tails are on the outside, that they don't get stuck underneath. So as you can see, this is what it's going to ultimately look like. Make sure we push all those out. Get these all done. If you don't like the look of a weld, or you can see a weld, or you just don't like the way something ends up, like maybe right down here at the bottom, like maybe I want another couple pieces, you can definitely do that. I'm just going to move those 2 over. I'm going to slide in another couple pieces if I can. Trying to make that skinny enough to get in there. Flipping that back over. Might want to do the same thing here. I'm going to try to squeeze one in right here on the corner just to fill. Right in. There we go. And again, bring these pieces down. A lot of times they like to lay flat underneath the preceding pieces, especially since we had them flipped forward the other way. So there is our look. That is how it looks when it's completely finished. You can go around. It's entirely up to you. You can even up all of your ties. If you feel like there's just one that's a little too long, you can go through and even those up if you like. I prefer to not have that perfect look, but that's just me. You might want to have everything lined up correctly. So what I'm saying is that there's 2 ways that you can address this look. If you flip it over to the back, you will notice, see, look, there are some pieces of fabric that are sheeting and haven't made it out to the other side. Like this one is way over, just like this one didn't go through the other side. You can go ahead and make those adjustments to where you have everything facing your outside, or you can also, as you're pulling this back over, you can change the look. So let's do this really quick because this is really easy to change. And what we're going to do is on the middle row, I'm going to push all these pieces through. Just like so. Let's push them all the way through. The ones on the outside stay to the outside. So it just depends on if you want to see the knots or you want to see fabric tails. I'm just pushing all those forward. Trying to get that one there. Lay it forward. It's the middle row that you have to get situated. And then we'll push these ones in. We'll bring those back. It just gives you the knot look so you can see the knots instead of just seeing the fabric tails. It just is a matter of preference. Okay, bringing these back. And then here, we're going to do the exact same thing with these, is we're going to bring them all down, push them under. Same thing, bring these back, fold them under. This one's in the wrong spot. It needs to go over here. Push those through. Ooh, I keep forgetting they have to go under. Under. You can just wrap them around the other side. I think that goes so much easier than trying to bring them back up to the front. So you can have this look as well. Let me zoom in on that so you can see that a little bit better. So this one just has your knots on the outside, just like that. And you can leave it like that. But what you will notice right here is you do have the welds visible. What you can do is you can simply add an extra piece of fabric in those sections where the welds are showing, like here. I find that if I can split it, which means pull that through, like we're still doing the Larkspur knot, and then we're going to pull this up, but we're going to split and put one on either side. And then you can fill those sections where you have the weld showing. That's a totally different option that you have available. I prefer the other way. This one doesn't have a lot of stuff hanging on it. Again, here's the back. Kind of looks the same as the front, but we know that we have the elevated form here. So I am just going to move these back around and put it back the way I want it, which is just spin those ones through so that they're easy to adjust, and bring those all back up in the front. And then the same thing here. We're just going to lay these ones on the top. That's just my preferred look. Because it's just, to me, it looks full. I like the way that it looks, but one wreath, you can do it two different ways, depending upon what your preference is, which is kind of interesting. You can design it to give you the look that you like. And then we're going to do these. Grab all these and pull them forward. Get that one. Pull that out. There we go. Making sure everything's on the outside, and then pull back your inside ones and let those lay over the top. Just like so. Which way do you guys prefer? Do you prefer to see the knots, or do you prefer to see the tails? This is what I would call the tail look. The other would be, hey, I prefer to look at all the knots. And then you can always just verify you got everything out by flipping it over. And if you have any pieces that are still here, you can just push them around to the other side. So like that one, you need to make sure it goes in, sometimes they get stuck and they don't want to go to the other side, like these ones. There we go. And we've got everything turned around. Totally different looks. And so to fluff, when you have this ready and it's in the look you want, you're just going to fluff your design just like this. If you have it to where it's not laying right, it's kind of got a weird crease in it, what you can do is you can take a squirt bottle, lightly mist the whole thing down, and then either leave it to dry that way. Like if I really wanted this a little bit more pronounced, I could just lightly spray this with water and then place something that's a little bit weighted on it, because I have had most of it bent back while I've been working on it. That's an option you have. I'm just fixing these because that one was bugging. Okay, so now we are going to embellish. You can leave it the way that it is. This looks really great on the photo wall. So like if you're looking for something thin to add to your home, you can tuck it over a bed. You can put it in your bathroom and decorate for the holidays. We are going to make a simple bow for this. So let me show you what we're doing. So this wreath actually comes with 2 bows. So I make it so that you can switch out either design that you like. I'm still making adjustments. We're going to do one a little bit more traditional with the red, white, and blue, but I have also gone through and made a super hand-tied bow that's a little bit more country. It features a little bit more of the tans and really plays to that country flair. So just a red and tan and navy with a navy Swiss dot, and then pair that with like the gingham. It kind of gives you a little bit more of a country flair. We're going to make one to go with this one to give it a little bit more of a traditional look to the design. So with that being said, let me move my fabric out of here. And we're going to prep this for our bow. So the ribbons that I have chosen are the red with the white Swiss dot. I have the red, white, and blue, what I call stars and stripes. And then I also have the royal blue, which kind of plays to this color here with the stars. And I'm trying to figure out which one I like better. Kind of think I like it, like I'm really kind of like that one, but I really want to break up the stars. So I think I'm going to go with that so that we have stars on either side of the polka dots. So let me show you how we're going to do this. I'm going to just use the Bodabra, and we're going to start where the ribbon came from. This one is Kringle Designs, so it's Kringle with a K, Kringle designs.us. These other 2 are from craftoutlet.com. So we are going to do a 7-inch. I think we're going to do a 7-inch, 7.5-inch ribbon tail. But the first thing we have to do is dovetail. So that's wired edges together. You're going to cut from the fold to the wired point, just like that. We are going to measure out 7.5 inches, and then we are going to gather right here. We're going to twist, place that right inside our Bodabra, and we're going with a 4.5-inch loop, which is super easy. You just kind of guess where you think that falls, but then I bring it back to the 10-inch line so that this lines up with my 10-inch. And then I simply pull this out to the side and make sure that it ends at 4.5 inches. I'm going to do it to the other side as well. Just kind of ballpark it, double check it, and then we want 7.5 inches for our tail. Isn't that what we did? Yeah, 7.5 inches. Dovetail again. And that one is done. So we're just doing a loop and a tail on each side. I just bent my pin. I hate when I do that. This one, we are going to do a 7-inch tail with a 4-inch loop. So always dovetail the end. We're going to measure 7 inches. We're going to gather and twist. Place that in the Bowdabra. And then now we want to come down about a 1/2 inch so that when we stretch this out, we end at the 6-inch mark. Same thing this side. Twist, pull down. I'm just verifying. And then I'm back out to 7 inches, adding a dovetail right there. And we'll go ahead and put our pin back in. And then our final one, let's make sure I've got all your questions answered. Donkey's tail again today. Is that what you call it, Joan? Hi, welcome. It's 7:20 in the UK. Thanks again for always joining. Joan, I appreciate you being here. Okay, here we go again for the last one. This one is going to be 6.5 inches with our dovetail. Just like that. And we're going to do 6 inches, 6.5 inches. We're going to gather, twist, and this time we're doing 3.5 inch loops. So up and over. I'm going to gauge and then measure and then make sure I'm right at 3.5 inches. It's a pretty teeny bow when you get to a 3.5 inch loop. Just the loop part right there. And then back out to 6.5 inches. Do our dovetail. There's that one. That is all ready to go. And now we are going to grab a pipe cleaner. Let's grab the royal blue. I'm just going to bend that into a U shape. I'm just going to pick this up, drop this down right over the top, hold it at the bottom, and then just twist a couple times. Now we're going to hand fluff this one just because it's so super simple. This is going to go at the top. I kind of felt like we needed a bow up here, but you can put a bow off to the side. You put it off the other side. You put it down at the bottom. Then it kind of doesn't look like a heart anymore. So I'm going to put mine right up here at the top. So I need to pull all my tails down so that they're at the bottom. Just like so. I'm trying to grab that last one. Okay. The top one is going to basically go in between the other two. So I'm just going to open that up temporarily. I'm going to take this one and go high. And then the blue is going to go just underneath this. On this side, I'm going to bring that bow up. For some reason, that just looks like it went really super big. Let's go make a slight adjustment. There we go. Bring this one down. Bring this one up so that this seat sits. Actually, I'm going to take this one and pull it down, this one up. I'll bring this one up and that one down. And then the stars and stripes will go in the middle of the other two. And then in order to put that curve back in, you're just going to run that through your fingers. Just like so. And we're going to go ahead and actually put this on so you already know where all of your rails are. So right up here at the top, there should be a split frame. I'm going to probably, do I want to put this one in the middle? I think I'm going to go at the top, but right at the V. So one up, trying to separate my fabric. I'm going to take this, going to kind of position it where I want it to kind of fall. I feel like it needs to be over a bit more. And I'm going to go ahead and secure that to the frame. Go ahead and fluff all my ribbon tails. Make sure that my bow is on top of the fabric so that it lays nice and pretty. In between, here's the other one. And just drape our tails down just like so. And there is our bow for this design. So like I said, one wreath, two bows, two totally different looks. You can change out the look for the rag wreath and go with more of a knot if you want more of a knot look going on, or you can just leave it simple like this. Like I said, perfect for a storm door. It meets the dimensions. If we're measuring from fabric end to fabric end, it is 18 inches wide at the widest. Doing the same thing here, we're 18 inches from top to bottom, even though it's a heart shape. Let's put this on the door so that you can see what this looks like on a full-size door. Hello all. Okay, we're going to take this one down and we're going to put this one up. So the question I get asked all the time, do you ever cover the backs of your wreath? No, most of the time I don't. Why? Well, number one, this gives the customer 3 different options on where they want to hang it. They can hang it from the inside, they can hang it from the second rail, or they can hang it from the outside rail, or where you have your bow tied, you can simply create a hanger by wrapping the ends of your pipe cleaner around itself to form a loop, just like that. And now you've created a hanger. I'm gonna make sure I push all my tails back through the other side, and we're gonna go ahead and hang that up. So just right here is how that would hang on the door, and then just go ahead and fluff to your heart's content and get everything where you would like it to be. And that is the design for today that your kids, again, can do with you. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see another wreath for your kids to make with you for their project. And they can make this any color, any type of fabric. Just make sure you're going to want to get your fabric squares down to 1.5 inches by 7 inches long. It's also a great way to use a lot of leftover fabric that you might have laying around to go ahead and come up with a super cute design. I love these. They do really, really well. We're going to be doing some more rag wreaths here in the future. I have 3 more other designs you can make using a different technique and different lengths of fabric and width. But this one is one and done for you. I'm going to try to come back and bring you a couple more designs. There's one that I absolutely love, but it does take a lot of fabric, but it'll yield the thickest, fluffiest rag wreath you probably have ever seen. So I can't wait to share that one with you. Do you guys have any other questions I can answer for you? Joan says, I think a Union Jack heart wreath would be awesome to do for our November 14th Remembrance Day. That is so awesome. And definitely, I'm sure you have fabric available to you. And like I said, you can do it on any type frame, any size frame. You're just going to vary your fabric depending upon how many more you know, as far as width goes, because I think the heart frame before I added the fabric is 14, like at its widest point, it's 14 inches, and at its tallest point, it is 14 inches. So it'll still yield relatively the same amount. But I hope you guys like this design. I loved bringing it to you and sharing it with you. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment below. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Other than that, have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.